everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're going to go over 45 games in, well, we'll find out how many minutes in just a second. I do a lot of reviews on the channel here. We do some big full reviews. I do shorter reviews. These are mini reviews. This does not mean this is the only time I'm going to mention these games. Some of these games I've already done full reviews for. Many of these games I will be doing more reviews. So here we go, 45 games. Let's get started. First, we have Abundance. This is the newest expansion for Earth, or the first expansion for Earth. So I'm not talking about the cool upgraded components, which look really good. This does a lot of good things for Earth. It adds more cards, which I don't think Earth necessarily need it, but it adds you a way to go through and find the cards you need, which is such a huge deal. I really like that. It's a great expansion to a fun game. 9 out of 10. Aeterna, this is from Martin Wallace. This is kind of an interesting game where you're building up like a Roman area and placing your workers out, but you also can use workers. It's kind of a very back and forth economy, building buildings, and it just doesn't come together in a way that I found to be a very fun game. It felt like it just was just shy of that. It was fine, a 6 out of 10. Aquapipe, man, I like games where you try to put 3 or 4 things in a row, and this one's with pipes that go on top of each other. Some really neat concepts here. But the coloring wasn't right on the pipes. I can't figure out what pipe is which color. That's just bad. 4 out of 10. Ascending Empire Zenith Edition. This is the new version of Ascending Empires from Play to Z Games, based on the old flicking 4X style game. Now, the publisher, Zev, keeps telling me it's not a flicking game. It's 100% a flicking game. Yes, there's 4X parts to it. There's a lot of different technologies you can get, but you're flicking ships and trying to make them land in different spots. I find it to be fun. I like flicking, and I also like, the concepts of the 4X a lot too. So an 8 out of 10. Australis. This is a game in which you're racing sea turtles down this path. I love games where you move down a track and you're trying to move down as fast as possible, but it does so in a neat drafting way, and then a dice battle at the end. Add some randomness to it, which I found to be silly fun, but on a good midweight game. This is like a Spiel des Jahres nominee, in my opinion. 8 out of 10. Azul Duel. Take Azul, make it more complex, and not for any good reason. I don't know why this exists. A 5 out of 10. Bad Apples is a party game in which you are putting apples in a bag and then auctioning that bag, and you know that if you put a good apple or a bad apple in there. It's precariously close to another game, Felicity the Cat in a Sack, but it's still a lot of fun, 7.5. Builders of Sylvan Dale. Man, I want to love this game about building trees and connecting these trees with branches. Visually, it looks cool, and visually, it's a mess. It's almost unplayable because you have to squint at the board the whole time to figure out which trees go where. Then add on a very lackluster game, 5 out of 10. Calimala. This is an interesting game because every game has an order of when things are going to score, and there's some really, you're like, wow, there's some cool stuff. And then you realize that after the first game, you kind of saw everything this game has to offer. I wish there was more here. This is a reprint of an older game. I'm not sure it needed to be. It's fine, but 6 out of 10. Card Charge. You're going to slide cards under dice. No. 5 out of 10. Caesar and Cleopatra, another remake of an older game, although this one a little bit more family-friendly than the first one, had some odd cards in it. This is a neat back and forth vying for control of different senators, some air control. If you like that style, this is a classic 2-player Cosmos game. It's fun. A 7 out of 10. Color Creeps. You're going to wear colored bracelets and then touch cards that match your color. If you like that sort of thing, you'll enjoy it. A 6.5. Almost there for me. Crafting the Cosmos. This one I'm giving a 7.5 to, but it might go up or down. I'm still thinking about this one as you are using these marbles and the idea of trying to outthink the other players. And I mean, visually, it's just stunning to me, this space thing. But the gameplay itself I found to be a lot of fun too. Critter Kitchen. This is the follow-up to Flamecraft. There's some things I don't love about it, but it's... And I don't know that the higher player counts work so well, but just sending your people out to different kitchens, collecting ingredients is a lot of fun. It's an 8 out of 10. The expansion, a la carte, I give a 5 out of 10 because it's just a whole bunch of extra stuff that I don't feel adds to the game at all. Crossbows and Catapults. This is the reprint from Restoration Games. And I loved Crossbows and Catapults back in the day, although I am a Weapons and Warriors guy. This one I thought was fine. It's fun to shoot the catapults, particularly. The crossbows are okay. And it's neat that you don't need rubber bands, but the castles themselves fall over if you breathe on them, and I don't know that I love that. It's fine. 6 out of 10. Deep Regrets. This is it's a game based on the video game, the terror as you go through and as you are looking through the depths of the sea. I like it. Great art. There's a lot going on in this one, but it's just a little more lucky than I'd prefer. I'm giving it a 6. Donald Duck in Happy Camper. This game, crazily, it's based on Goldland, and Goldland I gave a 4 to back in the day, and I might have been too hard on that, but this Donald Duck also gets a 4. It's too complex for new players, and new players is who it's going to get. You have to take your ducks and move off the board and get resources, then move back on. Donald Duck, there's some randomness. I was just very unimpressed with this one. Dorf Romantik Sakura. This takes Dorf Romantik and adds a Japanese flair to it, but it's basically the same as the first one, and I didn't like that one either. It's a cooperative game that feels like a cooperative puzzle of sorts, cooperative Carcassonne, and it just doesn't work for me. 5 out of 10. Foros. This is 3D tic-tac-toe where you're trying to score a 4 in a row, sort of, but you can go diagonally or up and down. There's some interesting ideas here, but it's basically very basic. 6 out of 10. Garden Geckos. This is one that when I started out, I was like, ooh, I really like this idea of putting these geckos in the middle and connecting and getting things, and then you find out that it just pretty much feels random. 5 out of 10. Lynx. There's another game from Play to Z. I did not enjoy this one at all. About trapping lynx. It has very weird math. It's essentially a stock market game. And then every round of this game that kind of repeats itself over and over and over and over. And it's just a drag to play. 4 out of 10. Meenakshi Temple, I really enjoyed this game where you're building, it looks almost like a dexterity game, but it is not. You're just going to build a bunch of pillars and build these cards on top of each other, but scoring points on how you pick the action. The action selection system is very nice. 7 out of 10. Mega Jackpot is stupid, but I do get a bit of amusement out of this game as you're flipping cards over trying to get 3 slot machines. There's even a way to win the game completely if you're really, really lucky. I don't know that I would buy this, but for a one-off lark, it's fine. 6 out of 10. Mieze Katze. If you like to say Mieze Katze, and bang the table and do stupid stuff and try not to mess up, you'll enjoy this. I gave it a 5. Moon Colony Bloodbath. This is from Donald X Baccarina, and you would think that this one would be... this has such a weird curve for me because the first half of the game, I'm like, this is pretty fun. No, it's not. You build an engine and then watch all your guys die. I just don't love that very much. I want to get my engine going, so it's a 5 out of 10 for me. ROVE Jr. This is from Tagmeyer. It's a little card game in which you're trying to move your submarine and go through all the cards. It's based on the bigger one. I might like the smaller one, about the same. It's just a little easier. 6 out of 10. Solar Titans. This is a 2-player game where you build ships and shoot at each other. You're building cards that are shields and guns. It's so fun until you realize a ship that gets a little bit ahead of the other one beats the snot out of them. And it's hard to catch back up. So 5.5 for me. I really wanted to like it. Space Bureau. This is one where you're going to be following down tracks, and it was pretty decent. 6.5. Just shy of what I wanted it to be. You're moving around these tracks, but there's just a little bit missing. Super Boss Monster. This is the follow-up to Boss Monster. I don't believe it's that different as they're trying to make you think. But I do think it's good enough now that I enjoy it more. I like the theme of it a lot, and the aesthetics work. 7 out of 10. Tethys is a really terrible dungeon crawl where you're just going to move and hope that you can beat the monster in the next room. I have no idea how this one got published. 3 out of 10. Thingstead, a 2-player Viking battle with way too many symbols to understand and not that interesting. 5 out of 10. Tiny Laser Heist. You put little hands in and try not to snap the laser beams. That's so fun sounding. But it's very difficult. The cards are crazy. I mean, there's like no game in there. Or there is a game in there, but it's a really bad one. The cards are all of different values. There's take that cards. It's just not that interesting of a game. 4 out of 10. Tokluru Taking. This is a weird game where you're lowering and raising levels in these sake, the things that you have, trying to get it to the right thing. It just feels like one of those strange little Japanese games. It's good for a player too. 6 out of 10. Top Tier is a game that's at my house because my daughters love it. A game in which you make tiers and rank things. You put a bunch of people out, and then you rank them, and people have to guess where you ranked. It is Mickey Mouse. If you're going to say, how good are they at playing video games? Where would you rank Mickey Mouse? Where would you rank Franklin D. Roosevelt? Then we have Totem Hoarder. This is where you have a bunch of rows of creatures, and they go after each other. Super lucky random. I guess the game got published based on its art because I don't think it's very good. 4 out of 10. Touch It, a game where you feel the card and try to guess the picture. That's the whole game. It works in some situations. 6 out of 10. Trick and Treat, a game where you're trying to get some candy. Another one of those weird little trick-taking games. 6 out of 10. Turnip, a game in which you're trying to out-bluff each other. I love the art. The game looks really cool. It sounds cool. There's a lot of bluffing games out there, and this one doesn't really give you any impetus for calling someone out on their bluff, so this one's just a 5 out of 10. Then we have Unstoppable. And I'm assuming a lot of people are going to really like Unstoppable. This is a John D. Clare game in which you're going through, it's some futuristic thing where you're moving and fighting these bad guys, and it's clear cards, and you're upgrading cards and putting cards together and making them even cooler. It has a weird back and forth where the cards that you make also become the enemies you fight. That just doesn't do it for me. I just felt like the game was too cerebral, and it wasn't as fun as I wanted it to be. It does some things differently, like you don't really have a hand of cards. You got to beat enemies to get cards in your hand, and it just felt too odd. But I think I'm probably the outlier here, but this one's a 5 out of 10 for me. We go way back. This is a game like, hey, let's share memories from the past. But in reality, it is just a party game where you try to match other people. There's a lot of those out there. This is one of them. 6 out of 10. Winston, 1984. You roll some dice and then use those dice to move around a track based on a novel, 1984. It's a lot of cool ideas in here. Very puzzly, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure my goals matter a ton, so another 6 out of 10. Wizards & Co. This is a game that reminded me a lot of Smash Up, where you're playing these cards, and you can play them to one of these different areas, and then you're going to go through and flip them all. It is a lot of a much ado about nothing. You're flipping lots and lots of cards, and it's very, very chaotic. I just didn't very much enjoy it. 5 out of 10. Word Colony, I actively hate it. Word Colony is a game that mixes Scrabble and trivia, where you are asking people trivia questions, and if they get it right, they get the card. If no one gets it right, you keep the card. And then you're using these cards to make words, but you can steal words from other people. Have fun trying to even figure out the rules. It's pretty terrible. 2 out of 10. And Yeti Snack, a game in which you're manipulating an ice tray, folding it over to make these little poker chips, ice cubes, fall into a specific pattern. A lot of fun, especially for kids. A 7 out of 10. So that's 45 games there, folks. Let's stop the timer here. Hey, 12 minutes, 50 seconds. We'll say 13 minutes. Maybe you love some of these games or disagree with me on them. Let me know in the comments. And like I said, I'll try to do more about each of them in the future. Thanks so much for watching or listening. I'm Tom Vasel. This is the Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.